Okay, I'm going to do this first segment of my Christmas decorations and the memories, the stories behind it all. And first I want to tell you that I mentioned before, I've been doing my house tours since I was on Facebook. YouTube was just starting up at the time, and there wasn't really a whole lot on YouTube. After I did like the first 2 years, I decided to put them on YouTube because I started a YouTube channel at that time. And I thought, you know, let me check and see what other people do for their home tours, you know, in addition to, you know, what I had done the previous years. And there really wasn't that many people that showed their, did like a home tour. There were a few videos, they were very short and brief, where people just showed like their Christmas tree or some of the other lights that they had in their house and that, and they had music playing with it. And for the first couple years when I did my home tours, I kind of talked through it, and I had Christmas music playing in the background. It wasn't until the last couple years that I've just done just the music without any talking. But one thing that I had always done, even when I was on MySpace, and I didn't notice people doing it on YouTube because, like I said, there was only a few people. Now there's a lot of people that do the Christmas home tours, and I think that's so cool. So you get to go in everybody's house and see how they decorate. It's really nice. And some people, I'm sure, have picked up traits along the way. Now, I'm not going to solely take credit for this, but I'm just saying that I had been doing my home tours since MySpace. I used to upload them to MySpace. And when I did do them on YouTube, there were not hardly but just a few people that had any home tours. There was very few. So what I had done, I had in my family room here and upstairs in my office, the TV that's up there, I have Yule logs. Now, the one that's upstairs, I have the CDs of the Yule logs, and that's what I put in. But for my television here, when we first moved here 7 years ago, we had Comcast, because we had them in Chicago and Virginia. I didn't like them here. They were not very good. So we switched over to Verizon. So let me just hit my little thing here. Okay, so it would be now 6 years ago is when I recorded a Yule log on Christmas Day, and I've had it all this time. So I've just left it there. So let's get it. It's the last one. See, there it is, because all other kinds of movies I've erased, but I've not erased that. So what I do is I turn this on, and when I'm talking, like I'm going to do now, I'll have the music playing. So let me get through all this. This was a commercial of a church service. There we go. And so like I would have that in the background. So let me turn it down. Now when I'm playing my, when I'm doing my house tour and that, I just leave that mute because I'm having music that's overlaying it, you know what I mean? So, but I'm throwing this Yule log out there for a reason, because I did that. And again, I didn't see anybody else. There was a few other people at the time that did Christmas things, and there might have been one other person that had it, but I had my fire going anyway, and then I decided to do that because, like I said, it was playing the music. And then I thought it went nice down here doing that. So when I went upstairs, I put my Yule log in upstairs too, because I told you I had the DVD. And I've just learned through doing house tours and that, little things that you can do that it just adds a nice ambiance, a nice, you know, warm feeling. So if you're going to do any Christmas home tours, like something like a Yule log is something that you might want to do. In addition to that, any kind of candles that you have, light your candles. Now, my little bear, he's on. You can see a little bit through there, but you can't see much of him. When I do my home tour at night, you'll see it because it'll be darker, you know, in the house. So that's what I'm saying. If you have a fireplace, upstairs in my bedroom, I have one of those electric heater fireplaces. It looks like a fireplace, but it's a heater. I have that. Matter of fact, it's already on upstairs waiting for me to get up there. So anyway, just do that. Make sure that if you light your fireplace, you have a gas fireplace, or you build a fire, or whatever it is that you do that. Light your candles and do all of this stuff ahead of time. Because if you don't, you'll be stopping your camera. And see, when I first did this, I didn't know how to use Windows Movie Maker to edit. And so the way things was the way that it was. And when I would have to stop, seriously, I would have to go and start all over again, because I'd get to your room. Oh, I forgot to put my candles on here. Seriously. And because I didn't know how to edit, I would have to go back, and I had to do the whole thing all over again. So I'm glad I learned how to edit. And I taught myself how to do that, by the way. I just sat down for days and days and days until I figured it all out. Okay, I don't know why that tree didn't want to come on. Okay, so let's start here in my family room. And let's go over some things. Another thing that I want to say first of all, okay, I've mentioned here lately again, you know, my Jewish heritage. Yes, I am a Christian. And so a lot of my Christmas, you'll see, has some religious theme to it, because Jesus is the reason for the season. I mean, that is what we're celebrating, is his birth. And if it wasn't that we were observing his birth, we wouldn't be having Christmas. So anyway, you're going to see religious overtones. So I'm just forewarning everybody, for the folks that don't maybe care for the religious overtones. You're going to see it with me. Okay, so this tree, I have had this. I got this in Chicago. When I lived in Ohio and Virginia, we used to have one Christmas tree, and it was always a live tree. I got sick and tired of the needles falling off, because they cut trees down way too early, and then they never last through the season. So that's when I started to get artificial trees. And when we went to Chicago, this and the dining room tree were my first artificial trees that we bought. And these have no lights. And I like it that way, because then I can change out the theme. This has had big bulbs on it. It's had clear bulbs on it. It's had clear with the colored bulbs on it. It's had all different sorts of things, lighting theme through there. So this is I call it my winter wonderland sort of theme. It's in my outdoorsy things. I like to have, like, you know, cardinals up there. And like I have owls. And so a lot of these ornaments on this tree, on this side, they're new. Because I changed the theme for this. My husband loves Christmas Vacation. Okay, so then they came out with the year before that. It was the whole house all lit up. When I went to go get them, they were completely gone. My brother and sister-in-law have that one, though. So the next year, my husband wanted me to get him one of those. So I got him this. And then this year, I got him this one with the scene with the squirrel.
What's that sound? Do you hear it? It's a funny squeaky sound.
Shh, I hear it too. Don't hear it anymore.
Okay, so anyway, and so I've added new things this year, like this iced garland. I added that. This is a new ornament. This is a snowman with all the different Christmas greetings on there. This ornament I got last year. My friend Tammy sent that to me. It's a silver pine cone with a cardinal. And then this is a raccoon there. So like I said, a lot of this on the front is new. These snowmen I got from a lady that I worked with. I worked in advertising for, was it 6 years, something like that. Then my last 2 years that I lived in Chicago, I worked at our township office. So I worked in a government office. And one of the ladies that worked in my department, her name was Peggy. We were exchanging Christmas ornaments that year, and we had to draw names. And so Peggy got my name. And so she got me this one, and she got me another glass one that's somewhere on the trees, probably on the back. So there's really not a lot of old ornaments here. A lot of these are newer, just within the last few years. So, you know, not, you know, a lot of sentiment on this side, but on the back side there will be. So let me just go real slow because people like to see again. Okay, and then what else can I show you? Okay, so let's talk about these smokers. The first smoker I ever got was this smoker right here. I lived in Chicago. I was in advertising. One of my clients who became my friend, but then she wasn't so nice all the time, so I kind of like left her alone, and we kind of just like drifted apart, you know, that sort of thing, you know, unfortunate. But she went to Germany one year, and she came back, she goes, I got you something, I bought you a smoker. I had no idea what a smoker was, and she showed me, and I've lighted these smokers before, and I'll be doing it again during the open house, but there's little packets that you can get, and I'll show those to you. And there's a place over in Strasbourg, that we go to, and they sell smokers and that kind of thing, and they have the little incense, and they're all different kinds of scents. They have all kinds of Christmassy smells and that sort of thing. They only last for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and that's about it. But you put the little incense thing inside, the top part of the body comes off, then there's like a little tray, you put the incense thing in there. So when the smoke comes out, see, it comes out of the mouth and it looks like he's smoking, but then that's where all the smells come from too. So that's from Germany. Then my manager in advertising, she went to Germany to go visit her daughter, and I gave her some money. I think I gave her $30 and told her to bring me back a smoker. Maybe I gave her 50. I think I gave her 50. And that's what she brought me back, that little thing. She goes, those things are so expensive, Sandy. So she got me that, and it was like $50. My friend paid a lot of money then for that one. We got this one at Disney World. We got this one at Disney World. And these two I bought in that shop in Strasbourg. So we like smokers. My husband likes nutcrackers, and he likes the smokers. And so I told my husband this year we're going to stop collecting nutcrackers because we have entirely just too many. I told him I want to start collecting my Father Christmases because I was collecting those and I stopped because every time my husband was going shopping with me, we'd see nutcrackers and we kept buying all these nutcrackers that I couldn't get my Father Christmases. So I'm going to start doing that again. And then my husband says, let's, you know, collect the smokers now. But smokers, they are quite expensive. They just are. So we won't be getting those very often, just now and then. I like angels at Christmas. I've had these, I think I bought these at Walmart probably about 9-10 years ago. I got these in Chicago before we moved. The last couple Christmases, I think, before we moved. And these were Party Light. I had a friend that sold that, and I got that. And of course, you know, this is new. I got this bear from my friend Charlotte. I've known her since MySpace. When I first went on the internet, we became friends, and we've sent each other a gift every year, and she sent this to me several years ago. Really cute. I made that little tree there, just put some snowy stuff and potpourri in there, wrapped a bow around it. And then this is just a wreath, and this is a party light holder that has one of those big fat candles that have the 3 lighted wicks in it, one of those. And so obviously I don't have that candle anymore. So I saved that so that I can set the bear up above the wreath there. And then my wise men, this is part of my nativity over there. And I've had this since I lived in Chicago. So this is probably about, I don't know, 10, 12 years old. I just got this piece several years ago because I decided to break my wise men away from the nativity. So you're probably wondering why, you know, in society they try to make us be politically correct all the time, but nobody wants to be biblically correct, even at Christmas. So at Christmas, I'm going to keep everything in perspective the way that it really happened. So the nativity, see, the shepherds, when Jesus was born and he was there, the whole manger scene and all that, see, the shepherds came that night. The wise men didn't come until later. And so that's why I broke them up here. And I happened to have found this piece at Lowe's. Until I found this piece, I bought some pieces from a nativity, and I just had like my Mary and my Jesus and my Joseph, and it was just them. But then when I found this with this whole thing behind it, I bought that. And so I have it set up this way because, like I said, the wise men came later, like days or maybe, nobody knows for sure. It could have been, couple days, couple weeks, couple months, or whatever after. But the night that Jesus was born, it was only the shepherds. So that's why I have that like that. Now, my carolers. I have a lot of these carolers. These are the buyers, collectors. Now, this, and this one, and those little guys at the end. I just found them out at the Christmas tree shop, and they look very similar to those. So I just bought them just to add to the collection of carolers while I was collecting these, because these are also very expensive to buy. Some of these are like $75 and $80 for just one. This one, I got him last year, and I left the price tag on him. Look, $34 just for him. But they're like a collector's thing. My aunt, when I was little, I think she had a couple of these. And then she started doing ceramics. And when she did ceramics, she had made a set of carolers, and they were so pretty. But I just remember going to my grandma's every Christmas, and above her fireplace, they had the mantle too with the bookshelves that were building, because it was an older house, and the mantle was real wide, not thin like they make them now, that you could put a lot of things up there. She had like a little Christmas village with houses that were like these, but they were bigger, and they were lit up. And so she had that. She had her carolers up there, and I always just loved the carolers. And then on Christmas Eve, like when we would be at their house and spending the night with all the cousins and aunts and uncles and everybody, they used to have on their PBS channel, they would have like all the local choirs of high school kids and things like that, where they just did nothing but like Christmas caroling and everything. And so we used to watch that. So Christmas, and then I used to go Christmas caroling back in the day when people used to go Christmas caroling to your neighbors and that. And I've always just liked caroling, singing Christmas carols, playing Christmas carols. And so carolers has just been something that's just been very close to my heart during Christmas, and it brings back a lot of childhood memories, especially being at my grandma's house. So when I was in advertising, one of my friends that had a shop, and this is a different friend, I have a couple different friends that had novelty shops, and this was one friend that I don't talk about her too much because I didn't buy too much from her store, but I did buy these, and I bought this lady and the postman, and I think I may have, oh, her glasses are coming off. I think I might have bought these. I think the first year I bought the lady and I bought the guy, because that was like about $150, $160 for just those two. And then she needs to be wiped off too. She's dusty. And then the next year, when she had the carolers out, that's when I bought the little boy and the girl. And I had them for the longest time because I couldn't find any more of the buyers. Carolers. But the Christmas tree store had these carolers, and these were pretty inexpensive, maybe, I don't know, $10 a piece or whatever. So I bought a few of those, and these over here, until I saw the Hallmark store started carrying these. At least our Hallmark does. So anyhow, that's the story behind my buyers, carolers, and my carolers. Now, let's talk about, I call these my 60s elves. He fell down. I was born in 1963, And in the late 50s, I think, or the 60s, or maybe it was even before that, I have to research, but they came out with these elves. And my parents always had a couple elves that we put on the tree. And I just thought that they were so cute. And I was the one that always wanted to hang the elves on the tree because I just thought they were so cute. And so I always wanted to get some for myself. You know, when I started having my kids and having Christmas trees, they stopped making them. So, like, you couldn't get them in the 70s, you couldn't get them in the 80s, you couldn't even get them in the 90s, at least nowhere that I ever looked. And then one year, I went out to, I think it was a store called Myers, that's in Chicago, where I used to do my grocery shopping. And when they put out their Christmas decorations, I saw those. I was like, oh, my elves, I remember that from like the 1960s. That's why I call them my 60s elves. So that's when I got those. And this little elf, I got him, I think, from one of my friend's shops. And I actually got him, and I have a red one. He's wearing red. I think I have him on the Christmas tree over there. I got these first because these reminded me of the 60s elves. And then it was like a year or two later then that these came out, and then I got those. And then this is from Christmas Around the World when I was selling that. And then I got that elf with some other ones up in my bedroom, and yeah, the other ones are up in my bedroom. I got that from my friend Diana's novelty shop. When I talk about my one friend that I bought a lot of stuff from her novelty shop, her name is Diane. So from now I'm just going to say Diane's shop. That's, you guys will keep that, you know, keep track of that there. So then I like elves. I like elves mostly just because I like my little 60s elves, and it reminds me about when I was a kid. And I always loved those little elves, and I always wanted to hang them on the tree. And that was the one ornament my mom let me hang on the tree every single year, were those elves. Well, a few years ago, my sister-in-law posted a picture on Facebook. She had the cutest little elves. And I put in the comments real fast. I was like, where'd you get those? And she goes, I got them at Michael's. So I went over to Michael's and I got these. So I just think these are cute, and they're doing all different sorts of things. And then that one there, and then this here. And then I bought these from another friend who owned a novelty store, who was one of my clients. Her name was Mary Alice. And these are just ornaments. Or no, it wasn't Mary Alice's store. I got these at Lowe's, believe it or not. Mary Alice had some of these. They were the bigger ones like my aunt had. But every time that I was going in her store, I was always buying other things. And a lot of things that I was buying was, you know, like those little snowmen that I told you my friend Peggy gave me. Okay. She had the glass ornaments, and those are expensive when you buy those individually. If you go like you can get them now at the dollar store and stuff like that, but like when you get like from these people that they handcraft them, that's not like factory made or whatever, they're handcrafted, because they blow the glass and all that kind of thing, and then they hand paint them. They can be very pricey, and I used to buy some of those, and that's like my whole Scrooge thing that's on my Grinch tree is from that. And I had to buy all of those. So anyway, Mary Alice had those houses, and I always wanted to get them, but then we moved, and I never got them. So several years ago, Lowe's had these out, their ornaments, and it was close enough, so I bought those. Now, my little Noel, that's from Christmas Around the World, and his arm is broke. It's been broke for the longest time. I just got those when I was in Chicago. There's really no sentiment behind those. I just bought those snowmen to put in my tree over there, and then these things you just buy, you know, for the kids, making noise and everything. I'm going to get up here and I'm going to show you these things a little bit closer so you can see them. Okay, so there's another little 60s elf, and that Longaberger basket, my aunt gave that to me 1987. So I had only been married for 3 years, and she gave that to me one Christmas. I got that church from Christmas Around the World. I bought that. This sleigh came from the friend that gave me my first German smoker that I told you, she's nice, but sometimes she's just not nice. And I disassociate myself with folks like that, you know, because I don't want to hang around them so much where, you know, I become like that, you know what I mean? So I just kind of like lay back. I was always nice to her, let's put it that way. Whenever I'd see her out and about when I lived in Chicago, I was always very nice to her and kind to her. It's just that I just didn't have lunch with her anymore and that kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, she owned an antique shop, and she had a whole downstairs of her building was nothing but just all Christmas stuff. And I saw that Santa in the sleigh, and I really liked that. So I bought that. And then, of course, that's all new. And you know why I like my elves. So let's go now over here. I bought those reindeer. I went to a Christmas Around the World party, I think before I even started selling it. And I have bought those deer. Now he has one of his antlers are broken. And then these wise men, I also got those from Christmas Around the World. So this was all in the 80s. This is all about like 1987. So those pieces are really old. And then this Santa and that snowman right there, they're like stained glass. And you're supposed to put a candle behind it. And then it stays lit. You know what I might do? You know the little lights that you can plug in for your villages and they sell them? I might buy some of those, because behind my light I told you had to run an extension cord. I actually have 2 more spaces to plug in. If I put some lights there, that's a nice idea. So see, that's why I do my home tours like after Christmas now, because I found when I was doing them kind of early when I would first decorate, you know, you're always getting things, coming up with other ideas, and then it's like you have to wait till the next year before people can see the stuff that you just bought, you know, that because you've already done your video. So, but I'm going to do that off and all of that. I bought those little things over here. You can see them a little bit better like that. Those are like little Beanie Baby things. I got those over at CVS. Oh, I want to say 1990, I think. And that's when I bought the my first nutcrackers, and I started collecting nutcrackers. My husband loves Charlie Brown's Christmas. I like it too. And we saw this at Hallmark, and I got this for him because I knew that he would like it. And then I bought this last year. I have 4 of these wreaths, and I position them all different places. I got these wreaths. They're very, very pretty, very nice. I've had those probably about for, I don't know, 12 years. I got those over at Bed Bath & Beyond, and I got them after Christmas, and I got them 75% off. Each wreath was $5. So you can do the math to find out what the regular price was. So I bought all 4 wreaths for $20, and you at Christmas time couldn't even buy 1 wreath for that much. So that's where I got all the wreaths. I have one here, and then I hung the other ones upstairs on my kids' bedroom doors. And then this mistletoe, I got that from Christmas Around the World. I have another one over on the other archway. So yeah, my whole Christmas Around the World when I was buying things was when I was first married. Like 1984, 1985 is when some of my friends were having Christmas Around the World parties. I was invited to it. And then within like a year or so, I think it was, is when I decided to start selling it. And I only sold it for a short period of time because I was pregnant with my daughter, and it was winter. And I didn't want to be falling, carrying big boxes, you know. And what really got me to stop selling it, one of my friends that had a party for me, she lived in an apartment upstairs on, it was like the 2nd or the 3rd floor, and I had to lug all that stuff upstairs and then out through the parking lot and everything. And just being newly pregnant and all that, I was afraid of, you know, I didn't want to have a miscarriage or anything, so I stopped selling it. But a lot of my pieces, not a lot, but there's a few pieces even in my village, that's all Christmas Around the World. So anytime that you hear me say Christmas Around the World, know that I've had these things since I was newly married. Some of them like right when I was married. So some of these pieces, I've been married for 30 years. So some of these things are, I wouldn't say 30 years, but 28 and 29 years. And then some of the things, my daughter's 27, and I was selling while I was pregnant with her. Oh, you're pregnant 9 months for us, almost a year. So yeah, about 28 and 29 years old are those pieces when I say Christmas around the world. And then, like I said, I have this other mistletoe right there, and that's also Christmas around the world. So that concludes this little first segment of my Memories of Christmas Past. I think that's what I'm going to title it. So this is the first installment, and I will see you tomorrow, and we will start over in the dining room.